So we work with our lake. We can kind of collapse this because I think at this point we're done. We're done with our middle and our background. So let's work with our water. And as the water going, you can notice we have an ability. We can increase, decrease our water level. And I think we can just maybe make it around right here. This will make a nicer look. Let's work a little bit more on how the water will reflect and what is will work with transparency. So the couple things I want to do, I want to increase actual reflectivity with angle. This will provide a little bit better reflection right in this area. So next also, I want to increase a little bit more murky add to the water. So it will create this kind of deeper, darker as we're going more down. Okay, you can see the water get kind of deeper look on this. Let's also increase slightly our bump map. So we have it kind of effect more on our water. And actually, let's go to highlights. We'll bring increase highlights a little bit more. And also a little bit more shiny. And in transparency, let's go to refraction is fine. So we'll leave it as default. However, this fade out color, I want to create a little bit more greenish type of fade out. So because this is not necessarily kind of more polluted with maybe with some green stuff inside. So a little bit greenish effect. Okay, this is one type. Next, we also can keep it or our water less murky. This will add clear to our water stuff. However, if we do this, we need to add a little bit more to the ground, because right now you can see our ground is kind of gray, this ground. So what we want to do in this case, we want to change this. Remember, this is basic ground, and we want to change this more towards kind of greenish, maybe muddy look. So more kind of towards maybe like these colors. So this will affect on a transparency on our ground. So if we do this way, you'll notice some transparency, because now we can see ground will change as well. So now we'll have it a little bit darker. So let's go back to our water. Okay, right here we'll open material editor again for our water. And I want to do transparency and just still add a little bit more. A little bit darker, murky kind of effect to our. Okay, I think water kind of look okay at this point. I don't care too much about the foam on the edge, because it's a little bit more still kind of water. And it's a little bit too slow details if we add anything to the water. I think this will look great. Okay, next things, now let's work on the atmosphere to touch up. So we'll go to inside the atmosphere, and we'll go to atmosphere editor. Again, this is additional module if you're using Pioneer or other versions. So you maybe want to purchase this, because you will probably modify a lot of atmosphere inside the view. So this is kind of one of the very, very useful. We'll have two atmospheres. We have it photometric, or we can switch to the standard spectral. Standard spectral will give it us a little bit more vibrant colors. And personally, I like a little bit more illustration, so I'll go to the standard spectral, and I'll let them automatically adjust. So this way you will see how we'll change a little bit more on the coloring. So we'll start having brighter colors, another effect. Okay, next let's go ahead to our sun. And I want to modify position of our sun. So let me enable everything. What I want to do, I want to bring a little bit more this way. So we'll have it shadows right here on the mountain. Our trees start giving very interesting kind of coloring. You can see right here we start having this sunsetty look. This is what actually I want to go. We can bring a little bit brighter, sun a little bit up. It will give it us a little bit more brighter colors. But I'm not sure if I want to do this way or give it a little bit more sunset lights. So we'll play with this a little bit more. Okay, let's move this one sun a little bit more this towards camera and a little bit down. Right here I'm looking on the shadows, so you can see now we have nice beautiful shadows covering on our mountain. We also have a nice kind of looking mysterious kind of looking on ours. And also as we work with this, I see the water a little bit more to the clear, maybe put it, because the murkiness give it kind of effect, a little bit more, too much maybe of pollution on the water. So I want a little bit clearer. So there you go. This look a little bit nicer. Okay, let's go now again to atmosphere editor. And we did modify, we add nice lighting, all that stuff. Let's go work and add a little bit more aerial perspective. So as we add, you'll notice we start losing some details, but the mountain will start look much more interesting. Okay, let me increase in size so we can see our preview render. Okay, and you can see at this point we have quite a bit haze add to this, so we have this distance now start appearing. It's what we was going after. So I think 2 is about right. However, we want to add a little bit more glowing from the sun, so we'll have these lights coming. And for this we'll increase our glow and take his scattering decreasing as well. So it's add a little bit from the sun, we'll have a little bit more glow going right in this area. And with the haze, you can see we add a little bit better in this area. So let's go also and pop up our decay a little bit more. It will increase some yellowish color right there in this area. And we'll also can take a little bit haze and fog increase. So let's pop up our fog and slightly on a haze. But because we're using 2 of those values, it's increase, lose a little bit more details like Milky Way. I'm not necessarily want this, so I want to take maybe a little bit too much going this way. So I'm going to decrease this and decrease a little bit of aerial perspective, just slightly. So we'll still keeping some of those effects, but not as strong. And this way we can play around and see how they will work, if they work very well together or not. Okay, let's just decrease this stuff. Increase, decrease haze. So kind of presetting a little bit with the lighting, so it's going to add this effect. And you can see it's a little bit maybe too bright even now. So with the fog going up, it's a little bit too bright. So let's go take our fog density down and height on the fog a little bit lower. So it will have it this glowing but a little bit lower right in this area. So okay, it will restart. You can see it relogging. So I think this is a little bit better colors what's going right now. So it's given this a little bit darker but nice haze and fogs right there. So let's pop up even the area. Okay, next what we can do, we can also just add and increase also light intensity. As example, let's go crazy. So we'll add quite a bit of the light intensity. This will brighten up some effect, but this is nice if you want to create very strong sunsets. So as example, right here, you see how strong lights we added. Okay, let's say we'll take our sun at this point and we'll take sunlight and bring even down more. So watch what's happening right now. We still have this strong light coming through, but we will have it brightness again. This is a add a nice strong sunset. So in some cases you want to, you think it's a little bit darker, but you want this more kind of interesting coloring going on, you can increase intensity of the lighting to provide some of those effects. Okay, let's just a little bit decreasing slightly. And other things, I want to add to the ambient light a little bit more desaturation, so it's give it better cyan colors. So we'll go to edit ambient light and we'll take and bring color right a little bit more to cyan color. So notice what's happened right now. We'll add a little bit more of the kind of reddish warmer introducing colors, and they will work also very well with this cyan colors we have it together. Okay, so let's take our brightness, bring it slightly up, and take and just move a bit to the ambient, so we don't lose all of those details in the dark areas, but we still have it provide very bright and nice light at this point. Okay, and as we're rendering, I noticed because our sky and everything give it too much maybe green light to the lake. So let's go back to our lake. And on this point, I want to change this fade out color a bit more to the bluish, actually go back. So the reason why it's given us this blue kind of crystal lake, maybe I want to go this way. So we can go back and forward, try to play with this. Okay, at this point, before we add any clouds or anything, I actually want to look on a better resolution. And I want least final resolution to do for that render. So let's go ahead. Again, remember, we'll save our work. And we'll go ahead and click and start rendering our image. I'm going to pause and come back when render is completed. Okay, so as renders progress, I kind of look at a couple things. Maybe remove from ambient light, maybe too much. Take this mountain just a little bit down, just shrink down a little bit. And these flowers a little bit too big, so I want to make them smaller. So we'll do some of those adjustments. Let's go with these flowers. Okay. So we'll just go select those flowers. And I'm just going to shrink them, let them a little bit smaller. So there was a little bit drawing too much attention. Okay, next, background, this mountain. And what we're going to do, it's actually probably just shrink it. Make it a little bit smaller. Right there, just a bit. Like this. Okay, let's see, we kind of positioning a little bit. So again, just a little bit readjustment. Okay, we'll go to atmosphere editor at this point. And I want to go back to 50% on this actually. A little bit more on the sunlight. So add darker shadows in some areas. I think that was kind of created very nice. And on a sky fog, so we'll need add, I want to add a little bit more to the haze. It was still look details too clean, and as well haze and a little bit to the ground fog. And because we does this, I want to reduce a little bit on a glowing, so it won't expand that much. Okay, let's go to the sunlight and bring our sunlight a bit up, just maybe touch up, so we'll have it nice kind of looking. Okay, the reason is why, so we'll have it balanced. The one thing what I try to avoid, have this plant and the mountain on the same height. So for this one, let's go back to our, and we'll select fur, and we'll take this fur and actually shrink a little bit down. So like this, a little bit more. Okay, and positioning. So the reason why I kind of try to avoid have it same line, so we'll have it nice going lines from here. This is our peak, one peak, second and third peak, and just a little bit balance them off of this. So maybe even bring this way, like that one, a little bit higher. So I think this way we have it nice going lines as well. Okay, and we can take our background terrain and maybe repositioning just slightly this way. Okay, I think we have it a nicer look. Okay, kind of a little bit off center, and this is balancing. So now it's about composition, small touch up, small balancing of compositions. Okay, let's go back to atmosphere editor. And right this glow, I want to add more. So let's go ahead, actually pop up glow intensity slightly more. See how this will bring little bit more reddish, kind of warmer color to this area right there. And I kind of like it, so I will probably leave it as this way. Okay, also let's add even more of the aerial perspective, so it will add even more haze, so we almost will start losing those details. It's what I'm going for far distance look. Okay, this is one way to do it. Let's go ahead, save your work. Okay, the water look about right, except the bumps was a little bit too high. So let's just take them down to 2, maybe 1.5, a little bit smoother. And let's go finish in the next portion of this tutorial. I want to add some clouds and some far away kind of layered clouds. So we'll look on those ones in the next portion of the tutorial.